keeping you informed. This is Katy Country 94 and Z96.3 News.
A U.S. District Court judge ordered the Kansas Highway Patrol to pay $2.34 million in attorney fees and other costs following a successful challenge to constitutionality of the state law enforcement agency's practice of detaining motorists and searching vehicles without establishing reasonable suspicion. The American Civil Liberties Union of Kansas, the National ACLU, and the Spencer Fane Law Firm went to court in 2020 to assert the KHP's policy guiding traffic stops violated the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution because troopers engaged in unreasonable searches and seizures of cars and trucks in the quest to deter drug traffic on major highways. On Friday, Rattel issued the financial award in response to a request submitted by plaintiffs in March for more than $3 million in compensation from the KHP. This was an incredibly resource-intensive case, and we are extremely gratified that the district court recognized the value of the tremendous amount of hard work that our entire team of dedicated attorneys and legal staff poured into this case over the past 4 years, said Esme Tsing, spokesperson for ACU of Kansas. We believe that such an award serves not only to vindicate our client's pursuit for justice, but also send a message to recalcitrant government agencies that willfully disregard the Constitution's fundamental protections of our civil rights. Under the KHP's two-step method, troopers pulled over a motorist for an alleged traffic infraction, completed that interaction, and took a few steps away from the vehicle before turning around to ask if the driver would voluntarily answer unrelated questions that might reveal information a trooper could use to order a roadside search of the vehicle. KHP attorneys argued detaining motorists with the two-step maneuver was a legal and appropriate action in the war on illegal drugs. U.S. District Court Judge Catherine Rattel, following jury trials in which verdicts were returned against KHP, issued a permanent injunction in November forbidding the agency from continuing to rely on policies that unconstitutionally transformed basic traffic stops into lengthy vehicle searches by drug-sniffing dogs. As wars go, this one is relatively easy, Vertil said. It's simple and cheap, and for motorists, it's not a fair fight. The war is basically a question of numbers. Stop enough cars, and you're bound to discover drugs. And what's the harm if a few constitutional rights are trampled along the way? End of quote. The federal judge said KHP's two-step theory on detention of motorists was based on an insufficient grasp of reasonable suspicion and invoked without the knowing, intelligent, and voluntary consent of people targeted by troopers. Vertil directed KHP to inform motorists when a traffic stop had ended and to tell motorists they were free to leave without consenting to inquiries unrelated to a traffic infraction. She directed troopers to notify drivers they had the right to revoke consent for a vehicle search at any time. Her injunction placed KHP under court supervision for 2 to 4 years, mandated instruction of troopers on the difference between reasonable suspicion and mere speculation as it related to traffic stops, and imposed requirements for documenting traffic stops, detention of motorists, and permission to search a vehicle. For more on that story, you can go to our website, katycountry94.com. Today's community calendar is brought to you by Hard Choices Pregnancy and Parenting Resource Center, offering free pregnancy tests, pregnancy counseling, and parenting classes at 6 Independence in Beloit and their satellite locations in Concordia, Osborne, and Smith Center. You can call 738-3433 for an appointment. Check them out at their website, hardchoicesbeloit.com. Enjoy breakfast at the VFW Hall, post 6242, 102 East South Street, Beloit, this Sunday morning. Serving breakfast from 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. Menu includes waffles, sausage patties, ham, scrambled eggs, hash browns, biscuits and gravy, fresh fruit, coffee, and juice. Due to increased cost of food, a $10 minimum donation per person, $5 children 12 and under. Donations go towards the purchase of food and supports local scholarships. That's the news this hour. For the latest local news information, visit our website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, katycountry94.com. And don't forget to download the free Katy Country 94 app on your smartphone.
Your number one source for local sports in north central Kansas. This is Katy Country 94 and Z96.3 Sports.
That ball is crushed. Deep right field. And Vinny has his second home run in as many days. The Royals get their first base runner, their first hit, and their first run scored.
In the end, that would be all the offense the Royals would need on their way to a 2-0 win over the White Sox Monday night. More on that coming up in this Sportscast. We look at local sports, some results from Monday, and a look at today's schedule. K-State men's basketball adding another guard on Monday via the transfer portal. The WNBA draft on Monday night, and no surprise at number 1. And the NBA play-in tournament will begin tonight. It's all coming up in this Sportscast on Katy Country 94 and Z96.3 The Lake. High school baseball from the area on Monday. The Beloit Trojans in action at Ellenwood, and Beloit getting the sweep over the Eagles, 12-2. 2 in Game 1 in 5 innings, and they won the second game 5-1. Trojans are now 8-4 on the season. In softball, Republic County sweeping Sylvan Lucas and Belleville 10-4 in Game 1 and 15-5 in 5 innings in Game 2. High school golf in Belleville, Republic County hosting their invitational on Monday. Team-wise, Concordia taking first place. Beloit was fourth. Individually, Dylan Esch of Southeast Saline took first place with a 73, ahead of Lewis Van Meter of Concordia in second with a 76. Carson Lister of Concordia 7th, and Dylan Tissell from Smith Center finished 10th. As far as area athletes were concerned in the top 10. Also on Monday, the Plainville Invitational, Hill City taking first place. Osborne was 6th as a team. Dylan Budick of Hill City was first with a 72. And Dawson Lance of Osborne tying for 12th. You can find full results from that golf at ncksports.com. Coming up today in boys golf, Tipton is the host for the Northern Plains League meet this afternoon, beginning at 3 o'clock. All the MPL teams in the area competing there, and the Abilene Invitational. Concordia will be there at 11 o'clock this morning. High school baseball and softball, Sylvan Lucas Lincoln at Ellis. In baseball, Sylvan Lucas at Ellis. In softball, 4 o'clock start times for the doubleheader, and Concordia is at Chapman at 4:30 in both baseball and softball as well. And in track and field today, the Republic County Invitational in Belleville, Beloit, Lakeside, Concordia, Lincoln, and Pike Valley from the area competing there starting at 10 o'clock this morning, and then at 3 o'clock this afternoon, the Sylvan Lucas track and field teams at the Plainville Invitational. If you missed any of our schedules, you can always find those for spring sports at ncksports.com. One of the local sports note, as confirmed by Ellsworth Athletic Director Ron Davis and reported by Tyler Henry at Solana Post, Ellsworth boys basketball coach Trevor Rolfs has resigned after leading the program for the past 2 seasons. He took over the reins ahead of the 2022-23 season. His first year they went 12-9, and then this past season a 7-win improvement, finishing 19-5 overall, 7-3 in the North Central Activities Association tied them for second place in the league standings. Not only did they see a big win improvement, but they also made it to the state tournament for the first time since 1991. Despite having a 5-point lead in the fourth quarter, they lost to eventual state champion Wellsville in the first round in Hutchinson. Ellsworth is already searching for a replacement for Rolfs as the boys' basketball coach. On college hoops, the K-State men's basketball team picked up another guard from the transfer portal with the commitment of C.J. Jones out of Illinois Chicago on Monday. The 6'5" versatile guard put up 9 points a game over his 2 seasons at UIC, including 11.5 points, just under 5 assists, and 3.5 rebounds a game this past season. Although not a high-volume three-point shooter, he was 38% from beyond the arc this past year on 82 attempts. Jones is the second guard to commit to Jerome Tang's Wildcats, as Michigan point guard Doug McDaniel signed earlier this offseason. Well, that started at the beginning of this sportscast. The Royals started a 3-game series in Chicago on Monday night with a 2-0 win over the White Sox. After 3 scoreless innings, Vinny Pasquantino hit a solo homer in the top of the 4th to break the tie, and in the end, that would be all the Royals would need on offense. Kyle Isbell did drive in Nick Lofton in the 5th to wrap up the scoring. Seth Lugo had an outstanding start on the mound again for the Royals. He went 7 scoreless innings, giving up just 4 hits and moving to 3-0 with the win.
Really impressive, locating right out of the gate as he does. He forces contact and thought he got better as the game went on too. I mean, a little more swing and miss towards the end. The breaking ball looked really sharp. But what more can you say? I mean, 7 shutout. You can't get much better than that.
Matt Quatrero's squad moved to 5-0 against the White Sox and 11-6 overall this season. Game 2 of 3 at 6:40 this evening. Brady Singer's 2-0 with a .98 ERA will start for the Royals against Jonathan Cannon, who's making his MLB debut for the White Sox.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
The Indiana Fever didn't surprise anyone on Monday night, taking the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I history with the first pick in the WNBA draft. Caitlin Clark gave her thoughts on heading to Indianapolis with the Fever.
The biggest thing is they have such a good roster, and that's what I'm excited about. They're a winning franchise. I'm excited to get there. I'm excited to get to Indianapolis. I know there's a lot of people, Aaliyah right here. I know there's a lot of people at Gainbridge tonight supporting us in the picks that we're going to make. So, I know they'll be supporting all summer long. You got to buy your tickets now. I know it'll be a hot ticket, but I think the biggest thing is just do me, have fun, smile. I've loved playing basketball since I was a young girl, and that's not going to change.
Rounding out the top 5 picks in the WNBA draft were Cameron Brink of Stanford going number 2 to the Sparks, followed by South Carolina center Camila Cardoso to the Chicago Sky at number 3. Tennessee forward Rakia Jackson was taken 4th by LA, while Dallas took Ohio State guard J.C. Sheldon at 5. UConn forward Aaliyah Edwards went to Washington at number 6, and LSU forward Angel Reese was taken by the Sky with the 7th pick. KU center Tiana Jackson was the first and only Big 12 player selected, as she was taken in the second round at number 19 overall by the Connecticut Sun. For a full look at the draft board, visit WNBA.com. Finally in sports, the NBA play-in tournament in the Western Conference begins tonight. The 7th-seeded Pelicans host number 8 seed Lakers at 6:30 on TNT. The winner will wrap up the number 7 seed and face number 2 Denver. The loser will host the winner of the second game tonight, featuring the number 9 Kings hosting the 10th-seeded Warriors at 9 o'clock on TNT. For a full look at the NBA play-in schedule and the playoff bracket, visit NBA.com. That's a look at sports on your sports leader in North Central Kansas, Katy Country 94 and Z96.3 The Lake. Sportscast is brought to you by Zachry's Ace Hardware in Beloit. I'm Dusty Donis.